Thank you for joining us on Plug Into Your Life. I'm so happy to be here, and I have an incredible human being here. Um, I'm so excited to jump into this. She does NLP coaching with neuroscience and human evolution and meditation and art and all these different cool things, helping people transform. And I would love to introduce you. Thanks for being on the show.
Ooh, thank you very much for welcoming me. I'm so happy and lucky.
Yeah, now, being in Paris, I'm so scared to mess up your name.
In French, it's Manon Fiere, but the English version is like Manon Fiere.
Okay, thank you for that. And yes, and so, anyways, yeah, thanks again for being on. And if you could just share with people before we dive into what you're doing now to help people, what was your life like before? Because I'm sure there was something way different than what you're doing now. Could you share with us a little bit about how you got started on this journey?
Yeah, with pleasure. Actually, after my exams, I didn't study. Like, I decided to travel. And I think that we kind of all end up on a spiritual path when we walk through life. But I would say that I really began to feel that I was on a spiritual path when I started traveling, like for real. It was after the loss of a good friend and after my mom was recovered from cancer. So it was a very hard time. And once my parents were kind of safe, I just flew away to discover the world.
Yeah, love it.
um, and yeah, I think I was 17 and I've been to Colombia. That was so beautiful. And after that, I understood that I could go anywhere by myself, like literally. And I felt free. And I think I kind of followed my feet.
So,
It was a pretty
Manon,
strange feeling.
so just to interject, so not only were you traveling all over the world, but you were traveling alone too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Was it just like the typical movie with like just a backpack?
Yeah, I was backpack. The first year after Colombia, I've been to Asia and I lived with €7 per day.
Wow.
That was so cool. Because was living with the local family and stuff. I know you know what I mean, especially
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's so cool and so fun, and you get to meet different people, and I bet you have so many stories about traveling. Um, yeah, so that was your first time you really kind of embodied being alone and feeling comfortable with that? Is that what happened?
Yeah, yeah, and that was very very strange as a feeling because all of their environment in the school and stuff, all my friends were began to study and stuff. So when I did decided to just go and explore the world, it was like the acceptation of feeling different and have a different way of my friends and family and stuff. I'm like, ooh, am I using the right words? My English is maybe very bad.
No, it's perfect actually. Um, all right, so I too kind of went off on my own when I was 17. It didn't end very well for me. Ended up homeless and all kinds of stuff. But I understand the concept of kind of really stepping into feeling comfortable by yourself. And it's almost like you started the self discovery very early. But did you end up
Mm.
landing somewhere and start working a regular job? And like, how did that
Oh yeah,
transform?
it transformed when I was in like the first year. I've been to Asia. That was very very nice. But I was traveling and living with local families. So in the rice fields, for example,
Oh, wow.
or cleaning the beaches and
Really?
stuff. That was very nice. Yeah, I loved
That's
it.
cool. Yeah.
That was so hard. My God, I lose something like 10 kilos. It was
Wait, you did
incredible.
10. Oh, you lose 10 kilos.
I
Yeah.
lose 10 kilos, yeah, because of the
Yeah.
sport. They are so sporty, my God. And after
Wait.
that,
Were you working
it,
in the rice fields?
yeah,
Wow, that's tough.
yeah, I did it a little, not that much, but even like cleaning the beaches was nice, but like 3 months, after 3 months, you're just like, is it
Yeah.
really useful what I'm doing? It
Yeah.
is, but sometimes it's hard. Like,
Yeah, because people just come by and throw trash out again, and it just never
yeah,
ends. Yeah. Yep.
exactly. But people are so amazing. I met this guy, Kitut. Every morning he was cleaning the beach and smiling and singing and putting some music. That was so
Did you kind of
beautiful.
notice in my travels? I kind of noticed. Well, actually, I'll say a quick story. So there was a story about a guy in Africa, and this guy traveling from Europe or America or somewhere was driving by in a truck, and he stopped and saw this guy sitting underneath a banana tree. And the guy said to the African guy, "Hey, I think it's just because there's banana trees. I don't know the correlation between the countries, but whatever." He said, "Hey, if you take those bananas and you take them down to the market, you could sell them and make money." And the guy said, "Oh, really? Well, why would I want to do that?" He says, "Well, if you do enough of that, you can save up money and get a bike." And he said, "Oh, why would I want to do that?" "Well, you can get more bananas and you can take more bananas and sell more, and then you can get a car." He says, "Well, why would I want to do that?" "Well, you can fit more bananas in, you can make more money, and then you can get a little house, and then you can. And he kept going on and on and on, and eventually, you know, um, the guy gets to, "Well, why would I want to do that?" And the guy says, "Well, you would have freedom to do whatever you want." And the guy says, "Well, I already have that freedom." Like,
Mm,
and it was like this big lesson of, people work so hard in their life to save money to have time, but the truth is you already have the time.
mm,
It's in your head why you need all of this stuff, right? So anyways, I just thought that was
yeah.
interesting because I
Oh,
feel
love
like,
this story. Thank
yeah,
you.
the more simple life is, I think people try to complicate it.
Mm.
But that's my lesson I've learned from traveling. So
That's a very big one. I think I should write it on the wall right now.
yeah. Oh, so anyways, yeah, so okay. So you started your adventure of landing somewhere, and then you started working some places, but
Yeah,
where did it
after
go
after
from
that
there?
I've been to New Zealand for a year, living in a van. That was very nice. Um, and I don't know the how to say it in English, but I bought 6 vans and I changed everything inside so people could sleep inside and sell them. And I was doing one by one. And after
Wow.
that, I was earning money, and that was so nice because I was meeting new travelers and backpackers and stuff.
Now, did you have a van
And
yourself?
sorry.
Did you have a van yourself?
Yeah. I had one with a very good friend, and that was so nice. With 2 solar panels, the view that is changing every morning, and with not a lot of money, but that was so beautiful. We had our banana tree.
Yeah. That's actually becoming a popular thing now. Like people just decking out these vans with beds and like a little mini house inside. And I have to say, like, I walked away from my whole life last June, like business, all this stuff I had. And I'm actually sold all of my stuff down to just clothes and my bike and my vehicle. And I literally was contemplating just getting a van. There's just so much freedom. You just letting stuff go, right? Oh,
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. Yeah, I love it. And yeah, and it's also it was the opportunity to do like many different jobs in different places. Like I planted trees, kiwis, and I was doing I don't know, I don't remember the name. It was picking and thicking of kiwis.
Wow.
It was nice. And after that, I've been to Quebec, and that's where I lived during a year and a half, and did my NLP studies and stuff,
Okay.
and began to really like go deep inside the brain
Now,
and the
Manon,
neuroscience. Yeah.
what was your like? How I'm curious. Like, so you had this life where you're basically just living free, but you started getting the NLP. So what prompted that transition into? Because NLP is all about the mind, right, and how it
Yeah.
operates. Why did you start getting into that?
Actually, this is a family thing. I'm lucky to be like Obelix, the guy in Asterix, and the passion was personal development. And my parents were like, "Yeah, it's beautiful to develop your mind and stuff." So I was very, very lucky on this side, and that's how I discovered NLP. Actually, my mom just I've been to Quebec a very long time ago, and she started study NLP, and when she came back, she stopped smoking. She was running every morning and like taking care of herself. So I think that's the very moment when I understood that I wanted to work with humans.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I was, especially after those travels, I was like, oh my God, I have to feel useful,
Mm.
just like you, just like what you're doing, and the light
Yeah.
you want to spread all around.
Mm.
And we are more and more, and that's so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. And I just that's part of the reason I started this podcast. Like I just want to like I just want to like we were talking before the show. Like I think if everybody listens to all these different people that are spreading this light and this this message, I feel like it's the same message, just using different words. You know.
Yeah,
And so you got into NLP.
yeah,
So did you start using it right away? Like how did that kind of transform?
yeah. Actually, it helped me healing something that I had. I had hyperthyroidie. I don't know the name in English, but it's like a problem with the throat.
Oh,
Interesting,
okay.
throat
Yeah.
chakra and stuff. And actually, I when I began to do auto hypnosis,
Auto
like a
hypnosis?
yeah, auto like hypnosis, but for myself, not with
Oh,
someone,
oh,
just like
okay. Yeah,
auto,
I got it.
something you can do alone. My results were getting better and better, and that was just like for me the proof that the mind just like literally can change the matter. And that was incredible. Even the doctors, they were like, "Oh, what did you do? Like, did you took more meds or stuff?" I was like, "No, no, no, just
Yeah.
meditated."
Yeah. It's so crazy, isn't it? Uh,
Yeah.
and
So this is where I just like felt that there was something to do.
yeah, same with me. I feel like the first time that something happened to me, it gave me that passion because like, oh my gosh, like this stuff works. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody doesn't know what NLP is, could you kind of describe that for listeners?
Oh yeah, of course. NLP is, or in English, neuro linguistic programming. So it's about understanding the kind of programs you have in your brain. When we study like your experience of emotions and situation, and it's like your brain is just like kind of computer with different programs and equations and stuff. And when you understand that all of the behavior you have has a function, you understand that you can take the positive of the function and transform it in another way. Like if you want to change a behavior or something, for example, if you want to, I don't know, stop smoking.
Mm.
Why do you smoke? You smoke because it gives you dopamine, so pleasure. So pleasure is the positive intention, and when you use the positive intention and you see what else you could do to have pleasure instead of smoking, then you can change your behavior. But there are so many ways and tools to change our structures, your brain, restructure it, and uh, and there is something about acceptance also.
Mm.
So it's neuro, like the brain stuff, linguistic for the importance of the word, because when you don't use the right word, your brain record it. Like you don't have to say I want to stop smoking. You have to say I want to be in a good health, for example, because your
Mm.
brain just keep it in mind. and programming because of all the different links you can have between situation and emotion and stuff. I hope it's clear.
No, yeah, it's very clear, and I just want to kind of open that up a little bit farther because I don't think people understand how powerful what you're saying is. So, like I try to say too, like your words are so powerful, they can literally kill someone or give life to somebody. And like I give examples like there was a scientific study not only in schools with scientists, with celebrities, where they put two plants in a room, the same size plant, the same light, the same water, and they would hate on one plant and love on another plant. And literally, the plant that was hated on almost wilted and died, and the other one grew twice as big. My mom used to always tell me to talk to my plants, and I didn't listen, you know. And the same thing with water. Scientist Emoto, I think his name was,
Yeah,
he
I
did
think it's
water,
this. Yeah.
and then he flash froze the water, and literally the water that was loved on had like beautiful snowflakes and stuff in it, and the other
Mm.
water was all disorganized. Your words are so powerful because you're putting intention and attention and emotion that's generations before you usually into a vocal thing that is very powerful, right? So cool.
Yeah, so true. And it makes me think about another experience that I use during my coachings to show people the power of words and the power of intention is taking two bowls of rice, but transparent one, and
Mm-hmm.
you write on one hate and the other one love. And every day during like 1 minute or 2 minutes, you hold each one in your hand and you just like put some love energy or hate energy, and you will see that in a few days, the first one that is perishing is the one with hate.
Really?
That's very interesting. Yeah, yeah, you can do it at home.
Wow. Yeah, I got some rice here. I'm gonna try it. Wow, so powerful. Yeah. So NLP, if anybody's interested in that, that's something that you offer in some of your services, which we'll dive into. Um, okay, so that kind of unfolded into some more stuff that you dove into, right? With self development. What else did you do?
Yeah, yeah,
Hypnosis.
self hypnosis and also spirituality. Like for me there are kind of two sides, like the understanding and scientific stuff like quantum physics, neuroscience and NLP and stuff, and all the spiritual thing I can't explain, like hugging the trees and walking barefoot and
Oh my gosh, I literally like have hugged trees like over this past like a couple months ago. I did like a ceremony. I just came outside and I just went up to this tree and like hugged it, because they have this energy, when you start tuning into energy, like I'm thinking in my head like, oh my gosh, if somebody sees me, they're gonna call me like a tree
mm.
hugger, but I am.
I
Now
love
I'm
it.
I love it too.
Tree hugger. I never heard it before.
Oh, yeah. They say that to people that like, care about the trees and like all that stuff.
Okay.
So funny. Yeah. Yes. So, okay. And did you know that spirituality, a spiritual person actually comes
Oops, it's freezing. The screen is freezed.
ancient times of
Oh,
someone that knows how to breathe? Did
sorry
I cut
about that,
out?
but yeah, I just like cut out during like 4 or 7 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. So a spiritual person means actually.
Oopsie. Again. Dylan, are you there? Maybe if we ask the universe, it will work again. Universe, can you please make it work? Oopsie. Mm.
Yay.
You're
All right.
back. Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh. Hold on. Hold
Whoa.
on. Hold on a second.
It's
There we
incredible.
go.
Okay, wow. That's interesting. It cut it,
Yeah, I have a
and I was like, spiritual person. All the I like it.
yeah. So a person who knows how to breathe, and there's even books on, breathing is so powerful that you can heal anything. You know. So anyway, it's just a fact out of my brain.
The power
I
of
just
breath. Well,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally trust it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So as you started getting more and more deeper into the brain and the science, which I think is important for people to know, and which, by the way, you're only one Google search away from diving into all of this stuff.
Mm.
Um, so as you became more and more in tune with these things, how did you start using it in your life? Did you start with yourself, people around you? How did you start helping people?
That's a very good question. I think I always been like looking for acceptance and love everywhere. So I was always helping people.
Mm.
And that was my kind of recognition and the feeling of feeling loved. And after around 18 years old, I understood that I had to take care of myself too, and not just the people around me. So um but I think the connection to spirituality arrived with nature.
Mm.
um and yeah, I think this is like actually the most important thing I understood, I think, is that my focus on intuition and acceptance like bring me abundance. It was like when I felt connected to nature and the others and myself too, like a triangle.
Mm. Yeah.
And we was turning, which is turning.
Yeah.
I just like listened to the intuition. I think there's really something with this,
Yeah. No,
and it links the science and the feeling. Sorry.
no, yeah. I just want to open that up a little bit more because I feel like people get. I had this too, where like they get these intuitions or like these inner gut feelings, or like you just meet someone. Like I used to do interviews for my old business, and I would meet someone, and I would just get this weird feeling like they're not a good fit. But I would hire them anyways, and then it would be a few more months, and all of a sudden they do something, and they get fired or they quit, or and I started realizing that like why don't I listen to that intuition? You know, I think what do you think that is? I think people are just scared of like being judged, maybe, or like why do you think people don't listen to that? And then also on the other side, um, how do you think somebody can grow that intuition?
Whoa, that's two very powerful questions.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think that the only thing that keeps you away from your intuition is fear.
Hmm.
And when you just concentrate on your breath, just as I said, or on your heart, or the love you can have and you can share and you can receive, even if one small thing like a ray of sun or a child who's laughing in the street, I don't know. Like
Right.
when you feel connected to this love, you cultivate your intuition. But each time there is fear of being judged, as you said, or of not being enough, or being loved and stuff, or
Mm.
rejected. This is the most common fears in general, like not be loved and stuff. When you just, yeah, I think that the better way to cultivate your intuition is to not look around but look in, so you can see more what is around. Like
Mm.
for example, when for a day you wake up and you're in a bad mood, all of the things you're saying are in a bad mood. Have you noticed this?
Yeah,
So
of
when you
course.
change your
Yeah.
focus, it's like, oh my God, it's good. and you just have to change your focus, and then you're like, oh my god, this is a good day, but you made your good day. Like
Yeah. Sometimes I'm getting better at it. Like, people think, oh, you're so spiritual, huh? Like, I'll be in a bad mood, right? And I'm like, okay, like, or like, even today, I was hangry,
it will work. Thank you. You're perfect. It's okay.
yeah. So this morning, or today, I started getting hungry, and then all of a sudden, I noticed like everything I'm paying attention to was stress, and I'm like, and this happens sometimes, I can feel it building up, and then all of a sudden everything's becoming a problem, or I'm focusing on negative things, and I'm like just like throwing up like negativity. And I've just gotten better. I feel like the spiritual path is really just getting quicker at the brain stuff. And then when you catch it, you're like, okay, and then learning to not beat yourself up over it, because it took a lot of years to make it this way. And then you kind of, okay, let me, like you said, breathe, calm down, nothing's wrong, and just like, and then you'll notice everything changes in your life, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
The breath, as you said, is a very, very magic key, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, okay. So, as you started kind of tuning into this stuff, did you end up starting to help people with this? How did that end up going?
Yeah, by coachings. It's
So
in
one day you just
individual.
woke up and you're like, I'm gonna start coaching. What happened with that?
Actually, I always felt like a coach. Like even when I was at the little school, like between 6 and 10,
Mm.
uh, my friends were calling me the psy, the psycholog, the psychologist, the psy, and
Yeah.
I was a kid, like, and I
Wow.
was just everybody was coming in and telling me their problems and their stuff, and oh my god, I'm in love with him. Oh my god, how am I supposed to do this and stuff? So, so, so I always felt it, but about how did it work? In Quebec, I did my study in NLP and neuroscience and hypnosis, and when I came back to France, actually something happened very powerful because my throat was totally healed. And when I've been to a doctor in France, she told me, "Oh my God, but since 2 months, you're totally healed. What happened?" And I was just like, I broke with my boyfriend, with my last boyfriend. So I also understood the link again between
Mm.
what's happening in your life and the impact on the body you can have if you don't see the sign and don't listen to your intuition. So when I
Mm.
felt that, and I really saw that, first when I was in Quebec, I had an impact by the power and intention and matter, but it also bring powerful signs when I decided to cut with the situation that wasn't okay for me. I came back to France and I was like, oh my God, I have to give those tools to people to understand that they can also like just get out of a situation that is not right for them, understand that they have all the resources inside of them to be what they want to be in the way that they want to be, and that at the moment they understand that we are all one and we are all making We are all a big computer, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you understand that, it's so so beautiful, and I love like seeing my clients from the first meeting and the last one, even like at the
Mm.
beginning of the hour and at the end of the hour, they are just like their
Yeah.
vision is different, the perception is different, and it's linked with the focus we were talking about before. When you change the focus, you change the opportunities and you change the matter on the situation and stuff. I mean, it begins from within. So I think when I came back to France and I just decided to choose myself, in fact,
Mm.
uh, I wanted to do the same for others. So yeah,
Yeah, it's so cool. Now, do you think that almost all the problems in the body are linked to some emotion or some trauma from the past or something like that?
I think most of them. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
think
I
so
wouldn't
too.
say that all of them because I don't think, and I think it depends on the environment too and everything. But when
Yeah.
I mean the
Yeah.
environment, so I mean like if you're born in Paris, it's not the same. If you're born in the middle of nowhere, we in poor conditions and stuff. But sorry, but yeah, I think most of them are just messages from. It's like the body is the unconscious mind. It's 90% of your brain. So when there is something that is broken or the energy doesn't circulate well in the body, the
Mm.
the place, like the part of the body is important. You can understand something uh, by where it is on the body.
Mm. Yeah.
But in general, you it's like a bad behavior. Like a sickness is like a bad behavior. If you understand the the positive intention of the sickness, like for example, my
Mm.
my my throat was telling me go away, because she was like very 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 fast, very very fast.
Mm.
All of my body was very fast, my heart was beating very fast and stuff, and I just needed to be more at peace. So my
Mm.
throat was telling me you have to find a place where you find more calm. And in general, all of the sickness you have are telling you something to take care of your soul or your energy, because because yeah, when you're not in the right place, something happen in general.
Yeah, I really love that, and I didn't even realize what I was doing sometimes, but I got certified in this thing called the peace process. And literally what you'll do is you just if I'll bring up the major disturbance that's in someone's life. Like, what's the story you've been telling yourself for the past 10 years that you're holding on to? What is going on there? And then I'll bring in the emotion that's attached to it. And then I say, okay, let's stay out of the story and let's tune into that emotion and where's that showing up? And it's so funny because people will say, "Oh, it's not showing up." I'll say, "Okay, well, just wait a minute and allow your hand to go to wherever it wants to go." And it'll be like, and then they'll just go, and all of a sudden the hand will know where to go, and then it's just like, okay, take your finger and let's just took all of our attention there, and then I'll read into, now let's thank that emotion for the whatever it taught us, and then we're just gonna love it, and then all of a sudden it's like magic, it'll move or it'll
Yeah.
just like disappear, or and then all of a sudden that thing that they were going through is gone. um,
Mm.
I don't think people. I wish they would teach this stuff in schools.
Yeah.
About
Oh my god.
emotions, right?
Mm.
Oh, it's so powerful stuff. Woo.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. About school, you're so right. Imagine a world where all the kids would like meditate every morning in just like 10 minutes and explaining the emotions in the brain and the different hormones there are for. Six,
That's
maybe.
actually my life's passion. I want to. I'm starting the process of starting campgrounds and stuff that teach kids this stuff. So excited.
Mm, so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, so beautiful. Love it. So, okay, so you started doing this, you started learning, to be quiet and kind of find some peace in your life, and you started noticing healing, and you started the passion of, oh my gosh, like I can share this with people.
Mm,
Now,
yeah.
then you started saying that, just in an hour session, you'll notice somebody's thought patterns change, perceptions change, and your knowledge over all these different modalities has kind of given you the tools to kind of, because I'm sure each person isn't the same. So you're able to latch on to different tools that come to you through intuition by listening to somebody and
Yeah.
share that with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I don't choose. They choose in general. Like I propose them a few a few tools that I have, and in the one they are comfortable with, when they start with the one they are comfortable with, in general they open themselves for using the other ones. For example, very rational people are like, ooh, hypnosis, I'm not sure, maybe you can control my brain. You know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so at the beginning they prefer just to talk and analyze and make a plan or something,
Mm-hmm.
and after they can calm down and just breathe, meditate, use visualization. And but yeah,
Wow.
there are so many tools that you can use by yourself also.
Now, do you notice that transition of, because I'm sure as a coach, I have done some coaching where, a good coach doesn't just solve someone's problem. Your main goal is to allow the other person to really bring out the answers because they have the
Yeah,
answers within themselves.
absolutely. And what I love about NLP coaching is that it's a short therapy. So the maximum I can give is like 10 different meetings,
Hmm.
and I give them all the tools. And the point is to give them autonomy and be able to take care of themselves and stuff by themselves, and not be in a codependency with someone. And I love this because I'm very sensitive to a person, to people. So I'm sure I would be so linked to my different clients if it was more than 10. And for them it's better because they have the tools and they can share it also. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So I'm sure it probably takes like a few months for someone to kind of really start noticing and embodying like transformation in themselves. Um, and when I have coaches on, I always love to say, if you've made it this far and you're interested in any of these things, people who pay attention. So that's one thing I've learned because when I had my own coach for 4 years, I still have one.
yeah.
You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Einstein said.
Einstein, yeah.
And yeah, and to have someone else's perception come in, you're literally saving yourself sometimes years of your life trying to figure out a problem. And it's so powerful. I'm in this one mastermind group where my main coach says everyone in the world should have a coach, you know,
Yeah.
and if you look at some of the best leaders in the world, they have people that surround them that offer different perspectives, and it allows you to really, and not judging yourself or other people's perspective, because someone can look at a ball on the left side and you're across the room looking at the same thing that I'm looking at, but your perception of that same thing is different.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's wrong or right. It's just a different way of looking at it. And I think that is a superpower,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And the
Oh,
superpower is when you're with the person and you're like, hey, let's turn around this ball.
yeah. Yeah, let's move it. Yeah, I just had a woman on, Ariana. She literally can take a spoon that you can't bend or a fork and like those little tines. She can use her mind, and she teaches children to do this, and it's so cool. By a series of things that she does, you can move the metal.
Yeah.
Something out of the movie The Matrix, right? Like
Visualization. Yeah.
I don't think people realize how powerful your mind and your words and your intention and all of these things are. But if you're struggling in any of these areas, I just want to encourage you to go down below. We're gonna have links down there. Some of the best places to reach you is on Instagram. And if you're looking to start this journey, we'll dive a little deeper here for a little bit. But I just want to kind of plug you in. Like, having this person in your life to give you this new perspective will literally save you years of agony and trying to figure it out. And right. So yes, go down below, check it out. She's got a special offer for you for your first session. If you're interested in this, I can say though, I was so scared of money on my first coach, but after I experienced, like, it was like, I think I signed up for like 6 months. Oh my God. I don't care how much money it is in my life. I will never get rid of having that in my life. Like, it has transformed every area of my life, my business, my personal, my spirituality. And so if you're interested in it, I'm going to push for that. I highly encourage you guys to check it out, at least get a first session to see how your life can change. So, yeah. All right.
Wow.
So real
Thank you
quick,
so much.
I know we're getting to the top of the hour. So if you could narrow like all the different things that you know down to like maybe 3 big tips that you kind of see over coaching or helping people or in your own life, that somebody could start today, that somebody could do or practice or do something that could help them in their life, or maybe they're stuck in a job, or maybe they have fear over leaving a relationship or money or whatever it is. I know there's another side to that coin, and you do too. Like, what are some 3 things that you could suggest that somebody could start doing today that might help them?
Oh, thank you for this question. I love it. So the first thing I think is to take a paper and write down what you don't like today, like what is uncomfortable for you. Underneath, you write in which way it's not uncomfortable for me, like why it's not uncomfortable for me. And underneath, you write the contrary of why it's uncomfortable. I don't know if you follow me. And after you have this answer, you try to think of different things in which way you can cultivate this beautiful value you need and stuff. Is it clear enough?
Wait, so okay, so write what's uncomfortable,
What is
and then
uncomfortable?
what
Under
is or what's
what
sorry.
what is uncomfortable,
Okay.
in which way, how, like why it's uncomfortable. So it's going deeper in the problem. Like for example,
Yeah, give me one example of that.
um, I will stay on the cigarette because it's something I have a lot in coaching. But if you want to stop smoking, like you write down, I don't. I want. Actually, it's very hard. Maybe you can cut this part too, and
Okay.
I will give an easier part if it's okay for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So three things. Okay. 3 things I would like to share with you are: first, write down 3 gratitudes every day in your journal, like 3 things you're grateful for. You can change it with something you are proud of about yourself, like 2 things you're proud of and 1 gratitude, or 2 blah blah, or the contrary. And this is very helpful because it cultivates your power of seeing the things you already have, and it gives them strength. So I think this is very, very interesting. The second tips I would like to give you is to really listen to your intuition, even if your mind is telling you, yes, but I want it, blah, blah, blah. There's a difference between something you want and something you need. So follow your intuition to go in something you need. And the third tip I want to give you is to connect with people who feel like sunlight. And if you really choose the people you want to connect with, you will have so many opportunities and beautiful things in your life. And for example, Dylan in front of me is an amazing person, and I feel so grateful
Hmm.
for seeing you today, and you will be on my gratitude journal for real.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I can feel it. And I just want to open up the gratitude a little bit. So, um, when I was on my journey and I was trying to, I wasn't trying, I was learning how to, I learned about the dopamine. I have a lot of addiction in my past. And when I started learning that, I'm addicted to my phone, I'm addicted to this, I'm addicted to that, I'm addicted to stress and like cortisol and all these different things, and you really dive deeper into the brain and dopamine and how it works, I feel like the biggest lie we were ever told when we were children was that you need something outside of yourself to make you happy. Here's the toy, now you can be happy. Here's the dollar, now you can be happy. And then you hear all these stories of people getting rich and they're still not happy. And then they give it all away, and it's like, or the
Mm.
toy, they want the car, and then they want another car, and then they want another house. And then it's like, it never ends, right? So I ended up starting. I listened to somebody who told me instead of three things, they told me to try to make it to 1,000 things you're grateful for. And what I didn't really believe that it was going to do anything at first. And then all of a sudden, I start making it to like 200, 300, 400. This is like over every day. I'm putting like 5 or 10 or whatever. You start making it into the hundreds, and all of a sudden, like it gets challenging. like And like I started writing things down like I'm grateful for my toenails. Like
Yeah.
I am grateful for and just like the stuff that starts coming out of your mouth, but like my blood, and like this and that, and then my day started changing. The people in my life started changing. The How I reacted to customers, and like it was powerful. Like I think people underestimate gratitude, which happens to be the core in manifesting, by the way. If you're trying to manifest shit in your life, like, if you can be grateful for the thing before it's there, it'll come to you. Just a little tidbit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and then so the second one was you mentioned. I'm trying to think of that
In,
now. Listening to intuition.
intuition. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think we started talking about that earlier. How to grow that is just start trusting it, right? So you get the information in here, and your mind wants to tell you no, but you're kind of listening to hear. Well, okay, my mind says I want this, or I should have this, but in here it's saying no, this isn't good, or no, actually you really should do this. And I feel like what I'm hearing you say is like if you just start trusting that a little bit, and you'll start seeing the truth in that intuition, and then like magic, where you place your attention is where you place your energy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden that thing will start growing, right? And now all of a sudden you start trusting that bad boy. Now you're not making any decisions unless you feel it. Right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And that's so true. And never forget to that there's a difference between need and want something.
Mm,
Because
mm.
sometimes you feel something very strong about something because you want it,
Oh, yeah.
but in fact you don't need it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
listen to your feeling, but like also what should be good for your feelings.
Mm, yeah. 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 Love it. And I want to say what the third one was, but now I can't remember. Shoot.
uh Stay connected to people who feel like
Oh yeah, yeah.
sunlight.
There's a huge science in that too. Like they say, the 5 people closest to you describes like your life or your income or all these different things. They say kids that were born in a zip code even will mimic the income, the mindset, everything in the zip code that they're born in. Which is why I love that you moved out and like went around the world. I did the same thing. Um, you know, change your environment, and it becomes so much easier to change everything about yourself. You
Mm.
know, surround yourself with people that love you and push you. I went to a foster care class one time, and I was thinking about doing it, but they said that kids that don't have one person in their corner, just one person to encourage them, will end up on drugs, on the streets, pregnant, you know, in jail. You know, surrounding yourself with people that are of light, you know, of encouragement and power, and or even elevated. You know, I surround myself with mastermind groups of people that are way smarter than me. It's because I know the power behind surrounding yourself with people like that. So yeah, so powerful. Wow, your three things are like life changing one by one. So thank you for those. Really good stuff.
Mm. Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah. Oh, guys, I just want to plug this in here again. Please like, subscribe, share. If this has impacted you in any way, please reach out to Manon, and I want to get you guys connected. If you're contemplating this, even just reach out and just ask some questions and start down this journey. You're not alone. I think everyone has a story of transformation, of something that wasn't such a good place to, if you just keep seeking, keep searching, and keep asking questions, you're going to find the answers, I promise. So, okay, lightning round, last question. You ready?
Yay.
Okay, if somebody could check out something today, like a favorite book, tool, software, video, movie, something that impacted your life, and they could check that out today, what would that be? I know you got the
I have,
note.
yeah, I got the note because the name of the book is different in English, but so much different. I think I'm gonna find it. First, there is a podcast I love named Jim Quick.
Oh, yes. I love Jim Quick.
Yeah, I was sure you will you were
Yeah.
loving him.
Yeah.
You're so similar
Oh,
in the energy, I think.
thank you. Yeah.
I don't have the name. Oh yes, I have it. It's the Celestine Prophecy.
The Celestine Prophecy?
Yeah, it's very
Hmm.
beautiful, and it's a kind of romanced true story
Hmm.
about a paper that was in South America about energy and love that has been destroyed by the government. But there was a journalist that came back over there and found different pieces of that book, of that sacred book, and it's about the power of intention and the power of love.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
I'm
Sounds
sure you
good.
will love it, Dylan. I'm
All
sure you
right.
will.
All right. Yeah. I have to check that out. We're going to put that stuff down below, guys. And, man, and I just want to thank you so much for being on the show again.
Thank you. And by the way, what about your book or your thing that I could
Oh,
check?
you know, I have so many things that people have put in front of me that have popped in my life. I have two actually. The two books that really impacted me. One was in the beginning of my journey. It was Becoming Supernatural and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Wow.
And the one that recently showed up, and I have a really cool story for this. I have to share it because it's so cool. I had a near death experience, and it showed me that we have beings or spirit guides or angels or whatever words you choose to call them around us all the time. And when I started asking questions, they would present things in my life. And this last book that popped in my life was so crazy. I got a box for Christmas for this mastermind group I'm in. My coach sends me these box of books and some other gifts. And I had a friend there that was sitting on the couch, and when I opened this box, I started pulling out these books. One was like Letting Go, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, like all these great books, right?
Yeah.
And I pulled out this one I've never heard of before, and it was called The Four Agreements. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
Oh my God, yeah, The Four
Oh,
Agreements
maybe it's not the same in
title.
English and in French. It's like no judgment. Les quatre accords Toltec. Être.
Well, the
No,
four
no supposition and stuff. No,
okay,
it's
well,
not
the four
this.
agreements, it actually talked about the agreements we make as children that
Mm.
we're not even aware of we're making, and that they stick with us our entire life and shape our whole life, and we make our beliefs, our identity, our personality, um, all of our judgments and characteristics and everything are based on these agreements that we adopted that we didn't even know about.
Mm.
And we just assume that our life is the way it is because of these agreements that we made when we were kids, based on the people around us. So, anyways, I'm
So
sitting,
interesting.
yeah,
All
really
right.
cool stuff. And I pulled out this book, and my friend on the couch goes, "Oh my God, this book keeps showing up in my life." And he grabs it out of my hand. Like he was just like so in shock that it came in his life again. And I said, "Oh, do you want it? You want to read it?" He's like, "No, I don't want it." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." I said, "Whatever." I set it down, and he goes home. And then all of a sudden, an hour later goes by, and I'm there by myself. I kind of forgot about it. And a friend of mine calls, and out of nowhere, I swear to God, like no reason to even say this, they go, I read this really good book one time called The Four Agreements. And like my hair stood up, and I was like, "What did you just say?" I was like,
The synchronicity, like, oh my god.
and I like ran in the living room. I grabbed the book, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're not even gonna believe this! Like someone else was just here and said the same thing, but you don't even know they said it, and you said it, you know." So
Oh.
I did end up reading it, and it has a story in the beginning about leaving your body and this like ancient mythology story, and I've been trying to
Mm.
do that recently too. Anyways, so there's like a whole thing behind that book, but it was so cool for me because that was just recently, and I just want to tell people, you start asking questions. If a book is coming into your experience like this, like even on this show, check them out. There's a lot of power and energy behind books. Um, uh, I love this stuff, man, and I can just I can, I can like go
Me
so
too.
deep into like any topic, and I know you can too. So I would love to have you on again, sometime, and maybe we'll just dive deeper into just one thing and go from
It
there.
was
So
pleasure. Pleasure. Because I could stay with you like that for hours,
yeah,
talking
me
about
too.
life and love and the universe and stuff.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and sometimes people are like, you need to come back down to earth, and stop talking about all this stuff. And I'm like, no,
mm-mm.
I don't. When you start healing people and like, well, people really heal themselves, I think, but you know, all this stuff goes on and it's just so magical and like, and I can find myself pulling my energy back down and I get back into the life things, but when you tune back into that love and that peace and that light, your life becomes so magical. And I'm so thankful for you for spreading this message and helping people. And again, thank you. And guys, if you are trying to find a new way or transform your life, plug into your life. And please check out more of this information on the show and check out Manon here and keep going, right? All right. Thank you again. And guys, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.